Good morning, guys. Okay, so I wanted to hop on real quick. Let me close that. It's loud. Okay. Just to talk about a aha moment I had as I was journaling this morning. Did my meditation, did my normal morning routine, and something came to me. I was focused on my gardening, and I was thinking about how my very first plants that are out there right now are struggling, but they're hanging in there. They're struggling, like I had to cut them back, and it's Rudy, the rooster, again. I had to cut them back, and so now they look, from the outside looking in, they look dead, but they're not. I went in, and it was my very first time trying to deal with potted plants. It's a sage and a rosemary, and I had to put in work to try to heal it. Like, I had to take it out the pot, I had to rinse off the dirt, I had to take off the dead roots, because of course I overwatered it, not knowing. I just thought plants needed water. And repotted it. And so now I can see, once I cut back the branches, and at first I was only trimming the branches, right? Because you want to try to hold on to it. Now, or not realizing at the time, that the more dead that you leave on the plant, the more difficult it is to try to recover. But we're always afraid to let go of something, right? We hold on so tight, we're afraid to let go, and really all that's doing is damaging. So eventually I cut it all back down to almost the stumps. And, I talk to my plants every morning. You guys probably think I'm crazy, but I'm like, you guys hang in there, So I was looking the other day, and I noticed that there's these little shoots that are trying to come out the sage. And I also noticed that when I cut back my rosemary, it was green, which gave me hope. That means that the roots are regenerating and the plant is healing itself. It just kind of needs to be dormant, right? Because we all heal better in a restful state. So my point in saying all this, and I'll have to show you guys my basil before I go. There's going to be a lot of trials and errors along the road in whatever you decide to do. And gardening is just one of the many things on my path. But it is a good example of how, through trial and error, you will eventually reach success, because I have some very beautiful plants out there now. I have learned how to care for them and how to water them, and I'm still learning. That's also an important note, to know that everybody is still learning. I don't think nobody knows everything. So everything is always a learning process. But it's important that you guys know that no matter where you are on your journey, you just can't give up. You cannot give up on your dreams. You cannot give up on, for me, my garden, which is just symbolic of saying, don't give up on your journey. You will have some failures. It's an ugly word, but they're really learning experiences if you can sit down and really think about what you did wrong, so that you can fix it for the next go round. And so now, because I know that I was watering it too much, or I wasn't giving it enough sun, I was afraid that it was too hot and it was killing it. Same with my aloe vera plant. That thing got sunburnt the first few weeks that it was out here, and I was like moving it around everywhere trying to find shade. They just want to be left alone, guys. plant your seeds and don't look back. Like, leave them alone and let them live their best life. But I kept messing with them, and so I kept killing them off. And now my aloe vera is having a baby. What that means is there's a little pup forming, and I'm super excited. This has been about 5 months in the making, and I started to think that it would never sprout, and it did. I'm trying to learn how to propagate. We'll see how that goes. Maybe later I'll take you guys on a tour of my actual garden, and I'll show you guys this whole do-it-yourself DIY greenhouse that I made for my seeds that I started. But that's another video. Let me get back to the subject. Know that everything is about intent. So when you're on your journey, you can't give up. You can't let 1, 2, or 3 failures stop you. You have to remember what your end goal is. You have to remember why you're doing things. All of that is important. It's also important for you to recognize that not everybody shares your same intentions for yourself. So if you have a baby of an idea and you just want to nurture it for a while before going public with it or letting people know about it, that's also okay. It's okay to guard and protect your dreams until you feel like it's okay to be in the outside world. They say that when you're starting something, when you're germinating your seeds, your plants from seeds, you should keep it in the house for the first 6 weeks, and that protects it from the harshness. And then you gently expose it to the outside world, to the sun. So you give it a few hours here and a few hours there, and then you gradually increase the amount of time until you can leave it out in the sun without thinking about it. And it's the same when you're cultivating your plans for life. You can baby it and nurture it and guard it and protect it. And then slowly you can introduce it to the outside world, because you want it to be strong enough to face those outside intentions that are not for your highest good. And it's also important for you to recognize your foes, the people who pretend to be your friends. Smile in your face, talk about you behind your back. I'm not saying you have to cut everybody off, but you keep them in their designated category, I guess. You can still be cordial with everybody. You can still laugh and play with people, but you know what information to share and what information not to share. Again, people don't always have your best intentions at heart, and their negative talk is them talking to the universe. So you have to combat that with your positive thoughts, your positive affirmations, your positive mindset, because that's you talking to the universe. We can't let others' voice be louder than our own, right? And so, it's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to protect your dreams if you're just starting. If you're not just starting, or if you're working towards a goal, it's important to continue to cultivate it, learn from previous mistakes, and then utilize it so that it's better. Nobody just starts off with success like that. Everything is a learning process. I've learned so much in the last few months just because I dedicated myself to it, but this is something that I've been working on for a very long time. And so while I still don't have all the answers to everything, I'm willing to learn and try to find those answers. And I'm willing to share the information that I do know and empower you all with that same information, that same knowledge, because it's very important. And like I said, I don't know everything. There's people who have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, 10 years, and they're well versed. I know enough to be secure and confident in what I do, and confident in sharing the things that I do know, and confident in telling you all that I don't know everything, but I am still learning it. And I am willing to give you guys the information on the things that I do know. And I feel like that strengthens my ability to continue to learn and thrive and continue my quest for knowledge, because it pushes me to want to give you guys more information. And I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but if you guys are into your spiritual journey and your spiritual path, please don't let other people say anything that brings you out of that. Because a vision board, which is very good, and you should all do one. I'm going to do one. I'm going to have all my kids do one. It's going to be so fun. A vision board is manifestation. That is putting your intent in something. And so anybody who's willing to do a vision board, but say like manifestation, or believing in the energies of crystals or herbs is you know for the devil or witchcraft or anything crazy like that, it's like my manifestation board is no different from your vision board. When I say my prayer at night, it's the same thing as you saying your prayer. So don't be so quick to judge people and their feelings. And I mean, if you are very quiet and in the closet about your path that you might be starting, that's okay too. Remember, I said it's okay to be quiet and cultivate it and grow it and then ease your way into it. Just don't let others deter you from your end game. Now I want to show you guys my basil plant because it's thriving, it's beautiful, and I'm going to cut her back. But I love her so much, I want you guys to see her, so hold on. Okay, so this is Bailey, and do you see how well she's doing? Can I tell you guys that my very first basil plant is like, first of all, I planted the seeds and didn't know what I planted. So it was just shooting up and I didn't know what it was. And then my second basil plant, I bought from the grocery store and I tried to pot it. I don't know what I did wrong, but it died too. So anyways, this is my third, maybe even my fourth attempt at basil, if I'm being honest. I can't remember. It's my third or fourth. But look at how beautiful she's doing. Now, I eventually want to, I'm working on it right now in the back where I just have a whole little gardening area. I just have to figure out what to do about bugs and things like that. But I'm going to cut her back just because I'm not utilizing this much basil right now. And I want her to look neat and continue to thrive and grow. And she's got a lot of new shoots in there. You guys can't really see it, but so this is Bailey, everybody. And then this is what's very, very important. This is my mint. Look at how, so for you guys, you might think that she looks sad. And she started off about half of this, right? And you guys can't probably see this, but she has like some shoots that have been cut, and I've cut way down in there. I just cut them off because they were dead. And I think what I did wrong, if I remember correctly, because I did this with one of my rosemaries, when I repotted it, part of the roots were still exposed. I didn't protect it, and so it died, right? But anyways, my point in saying that is some of the shoots that I cut, these little baby ones, those are new mints that are sprouting. So all is not lost. And I'm not going to cut them just because they were like hanging down at first and now they're standing tall. So I like that. So I'm not going to cut those two yet. But look at them coming in. Point proven. Is there anything else I want to say to you guys? No, but I do want to show you one more thing. Last thing I promise. These little floral bundles are from my garden. So I cut them and dried them and wrapped them. And it's like the amount of joy that I have from knowing that these came from something that I grew, right? I'm just so in love. So cultivate your skills so that you can reap the benefits of your hard work. And I think that's everything. Have a great week.